Hello, dear friends. We are glad to welcome you on Alatra TV Middle East. And just before we start, I would like to remind that if you would like to share this video in the social networks, please use two hashtags, hashtag Creative Society and hashtag Alatra Unite. Also, be free to write comments and questions in our YouTube chat. The most interesting ones will be asked in the end of our program. And also for those who joined us recently, I would like to remind that Alatra International Public Movement is has a unique project that's called Creative Society, and people from over than 180 countries around the globe taking social surveys to ask people in what society they would like to live in, where they and their beloved ones will be happy. And today's cast we host together with Alina. Hello, Alina.
Hi, Alice. Hello, everyone. Hello, dear viewers. And the name of our broadcast today is Life is a Book of Happiness. Life is a book about happiness. And we have an amazing guest today with us, a beautiful lady, an active person, an author, a blogger, Ruckey Peniel from Zurich, Switzerland. Hi, Ruckey. How are you?
Hi, Alina. Hi, Alice. How are you, ladies? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us today. And please tell our viewers, how is the weather in Zurich today?
It's actually warm. I had a little bit of nice time outside by Lake Zurich. It was about 24 degrees. It's warm. It's warm today.
Yeah, nice for those who are hesitating, it's not Lake Zurich in the United States. It's in Switzerland, the center of Europe.
Oh, yes. Lake Zurich, Switzerland.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's true. It's very warm weather today.
Yeah, great, because I'm in Dubai right now and it's very warm as well. It's actually getting too hot. So the summer is up. It's about 40 degrees already.
Oh, wow, that's hot, yeah.
Yeah, that's really hot. And before we start, I would like to remind and to explain our viewers who are joining us for the first time today that our daily life broadcasts are based on the theory of 6 handshakes. And according to this theory, each of us, every human being knows every human being on this planet through 6 of your relationships only. And through social networks, it's even fewer. So we decided to test this theory and to check if it's really working. So we initiated the daily live broadcasts. There we invite people from all over the world to speak about how they envision the creative and constructive society, such a society where every human being is happy. And we are happy to meet people from different countries, and we are happy to become friends of every human being in this world. And we highly appreciate the opinion of every human being, of every person, because without knowing how each person envisions the creative society, we cannot understand how we see this society globally, how it should work, how it should be. This is why we are very happy that the theory of 6 handshakes is working, because our guest from previous broadcasts, Ruby from Switzerland, Montreux, introduced us to Ruckey, and today Ruckey is with us. I would like to ask you, Ruby, can you please share with our viewers something about your life? I know that you had very long way to come from the country you've been born to, Switzerland, and you became a very active person, a very empowered woman, and I liked a lot of YouTube videos with you, really very much inspiring. So we would like to know more about you, please.
I'm the second child of a family of 5 kids. And I pretty much grew up with very strong boys. So I guess that was what formed my early worldview. I saw the world as a place where I needed to let my voice be heard in the midst of boys. I don't know, I believe anyone who's watching me and grew up with boys probably knows what I mean. You know, you just feel like you're the odd one out, and you have to quickly figure out how to make your presence known and how to make them, you know, take you very seriously. So I developed that strong sense of expression very early on. I always wanted to be in front of people, to read the news to them. I always wanted to make a change. I always wanted to be the conflict, the one who resolves conflicts, you know. So I'm not surprised that I ended up studying law. For example, I look back on my life journey, and everywhere that I've been has been like a really needed stepping stone for where I am today. So I'm married, I'm a mother, and I enjoy working with people. One of the foremost things I love to do the most is counseling and international conference speaking. And yeah, I wear different caps, I wear different hats, but I enjoy working with people. I have a favorite saying that make new friends and keep your old ones. So you see, my old friend Ruby has introduced me to you ladies, all brand new friends, and Alex and the whole crew of Alantra. So yes, I believe the whole world is one. I believe in the love culture. I believe in taking every person seriously, no matter what, you know, their social status is. And I pretty much believe this is who I am. I try to express all that I do by writing. Writing was for me a very easy way to express myself. Like I said, I love to express myself. And earlier on in life, I developed writing. I wrote my first book at age 15. So yeah, I pretty much do a lot of stuff, and I love it.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
You're welcome.
Ruckey, as the topic of our today's conversation is life is a book of happiness, could you please share what is happiness for you?
Happiness, like I say to people, happiness is, it's dependent, and I would like to really give this definition. It's dependent usually by the human understanding on the happenings around, you know, happenstance. But for me personally, I do believe that we can define our happiness. And I tell people, people see me smile, people see me laugh, and everyone thinks, oh, I've just had a very lovely ride in the park in life, and that's why I'm so full of life. But that's actually the opposite is the case. I've been through some really horrible experiences. I've been through abuse as a child. I've been through a lot of stuff, you know, that I'm not sure we have the time to discuss right now. I was a single mother for 10 years. I've been through some really, really challenging things in life, and I discovered the innate power in every human being to decide the outcome of their life, no matter what the situations around them or the circumstances are. So for me, happiness really is about getting in tune with the power, the inner power that every human being has. Most people don't know they have it, but there's this inner power to define how you want your life to be. If you want your life to be a ride in the park, it really can be that. And it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with accomplishment. It's just a sense of I am me and I love being me, you know. So that's basically what happiness is. The greatest love is the love of yourself. I love the way Whitney Houston put it in the song, you know, the need to love yourself is the greatest love of all. So I believe if we love ourselves for who we are, the strengths, the weaknesses, the good, the bad, the ugly part of us, if we really come to that point of acceptance, we will be happy.
Thank you very much, Ruckey. You won't believe, but just before preparing the interview, we discussed with Alice that you have a very beautiful voice, and I asked her if there is a chance that we hear your voice, that they hear you singing in our live broadcast.
Really?
Yes.
Your wishes come true.
Absolutely, yes. And Ruckey, thank you for sharing with us. And please tell me, what is the message of your books? What is the message to people? What are they about?
The first book is Race of Love, and a lot of people have asked me to write the sequel. So Race of Love is basically about what you described this program to be. It's about finding your happiness. So it's a story about, it's a romantic novel, and it's the story about this biracial couple, a mixture of African India and American, a white male American. And there was a mix of a whole lot of stuff as well, status, class and all of that, race, and how they forged, or they tried to forge their way in the relationship, with a child in the mix and all of that. So it's just basically talking about all of the hard issues, of modern life, but in a very relaxed and people have told me that it reminds them of a kind of thriller, but then a good one, a romantic thriller. And yeah, that's basically what Race of Love is. It's the story of a single mom, a lady who had to raise a kid on her own. So definitely has some kind of impact from my story. Yeah, that's, I'm not going to say the whole, so people could go buy the book. But that's Race of Love. And the other one is a daily devotional. The way I overcame all of the difficulties I have, was through meditation. I'm a Christian, obviously. I know we're not talking about religion here, but the second book is basically a book of meditation and devotions, 365 days of devotion. It's called Hope Now. I always say I like to be known as an ambassador of hope. So no matter how hopeless any situation is, I always believe that there's a way out. So that's what the second book is all about. It's a daily devotional to encourage people every day.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And Ruckey, I would like to ask you, what is your envision of creative society? The kind of society where everyone is happy, wherein you and your beloved ones are living comfortably. What do you think about it?
I believe respect, respect is very key, is very pivotal to any creative society that would prosper, that's going to be prosperous. That's going to be a place where everyone is valued, there's a value for everyone. There's a system in place where everyone has a sense of me, a sense of being, well-being. And what I mean by respect is, I like to say this because I run this relationship talks, online. And what I always try to let people know is that if you want to enjoy a relationship, you need to have a basic respect for individual sovereignty. This is how I like to put it. Every human being is special. And I mean, I'm over 40 and I've met quite enough people to know that everyone has some uniqueness, and it takes respect, to discover that. And if you already have this attitude of respect, knowing that there's always something to discover about those around you, you emit, you send out this energy of respect, you send out this energy of peace, you send out this energy of acceptance. And imagine if we all will live like that, if everyone around the world will go out every day, wake up every day knowing that there's something to be discovered in my neighbor, there's something to be discovered with my colleagues, there's something to be discovered in the shopping mall, with every person I meet. There's a uniqueness in everyone, and I need to respect that. I need to be very enthusiastic to discover that. I need to approach people with a sense of adventure and excitement. I believe we will have a much more creative society full of love, respect, and prosperity.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very deep. And here we come to the understanding of the value of a human life as a center and the main value of a creative society. And I would like also to ask you that the question, you have a lot of followers, you have many viewers who follow you, also your readers. And can you please share with our audience as well what helps you to stay happy in your everyday life?
What helps me to stay happy is focus, I believe every human being, there will come times that challenges come, it's just part of human life. But I try to stay focused on goals. So people need to have goals and vision. You need to always dream, never stop dreaming. I believe this is always the connecting point between your now and your future, because dreams do come true, really. Dreams come true. I really don't have enough time to explain how people can actually use their dream as a ladder, out of difficult situations. It doesn't matter how difficult it is, depression, bankruptcy, and I really walk people through these really, really hard places in life by helping them have a vision, So I tell them, have a vision board, and that's what keeps me motivated. You need to have a vision of how do you want your life to be. It might be just something simple as I want to be happy, So just put that down, write it down, put it somewhere that's visual that you can see, as often as possible. Write how you intend, what does happiness mean for you? How do you intend to get it, So you need to stay focused on your goals, on your vision. I always believe that distractions come for just one thing, to deplete our inner energy, So when we realize that, we will know that when negativities come, when things come that does not belong to your vision, you already know automatically this thing has come, to take away my energy, and then you're able to say no and refocus, on your vision. So basically, for me, it's vision, the power of goals and vision. I didn't always know this, but I discovered that years ago, and since then, it's been very hard or very difficult for me to stay blue, or stay upset or stay sad for more than a moment, and I quickly get myself back, like, hey, you're going somewhere, you have a vision, you have objectives, and and then good energy, surround yourself with, because we're talking about creative society, not everybody is on an advanced level of positive energy as we are. So we need to be conscious of that when people come into the sphere of, your influence, and they're not really on that positive energy yet. Don't begrudge them. Don't be upset with them. Just simply, respectfully, remove yourself from that energy, negative energy, because it has the ability to, dissipate your personal energy. And most people don't even know that what they reflect is not even their own negative energy, it's that of their environment or their influences. So I'm very conscious of things like this, and that's what has helped me personally, or keeps helping me to stay motivated and happy on a daily basis.
Very inspiring, really. And it's kind of, we always say, like, stop evil on yourself. Yes. Don't let your negative emotions, don't let your bad mood go further.
Yes, overrule you. Yes.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ruckey. As we can see, the cooperation with people is extremely important. Maybe you can share some of examples from your life experience of this positive cooperation with other people. Maybe it can be example of teamwork in some project or something.
Absolutely. I believe cooperation is the key, cooperation, collaboration, whatever you want to call it, teamwork. You can only do so much as a person. There are talents, there are abilities lying fallow, usually around us. And it takes humility, to connect with those positive energy. One of the things that I've recently been excited about is the power of women working together. And we all know that it's something that's much like a treasure. When you do find a group of women who work together, then it's very powerful. I belong to a couple of ladies networks that's very functional, very collaborative, very supportive. And this is just a couple of years into my journey, but it's been very powerful. And I have a team around me personally, in my organization, in all I do. And I lean a lot on their strength. I lean on their strength. I focus on what I can do and delegate as much as I can, with these wonderful men and women who holds up the dream and the vision. So the power of collaboration never be overemphasized. It's very, very necessary. Every great nation we know, every great organization is dependent on their people, So yeah, it's a very powerful force to cooperate. So I would say to anyone who wants to be significant in life or achieve anything, to seek a network, of people who are like-minded and who would be supportive, of their dreams and vision. It makes the job easier and it makes the journey faster.
Exactly. And now we also see how powerful it is on the example of the project Creative Society. Because the more people learn about it, the more people join the project, the more it's getting bigger and bigger, and
Right.
it goes like all over the world already. Though it started only with the good actions of few people only. So
Wow.
that's also the great example, and thank you so much.
Well done.
Coming back to the Creative Society, how do you envision the educational system and the healthcare system of the Creative Society?
I will talk about the healthcare obviously first, because I believe everything lies and falls on health. I would like an affordable healthcare for everyone. I would like, and then we can talk about the education as well. I would like that people are educated about the values of health, good health, starting with the very holistic, movements and very basic things like eating, healthy, eating plant-based. I mean, I'm not peddling any particular kind of feeding system, but we all know from the form of education, from the point of education, that eating healthy will probably save you 50 to 70% of health costs in the first place. So I believe that the first line of action for a good health system that I envision, in a creative society, will be educating people on a daily basis at the grassroots level, how to stay healthy by eating healthy. We really are what we eat. I know that personally for me in the last 1.5 years or so that I've been very careful, about what I do eat, and I see the difference, in my health. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is that there's a health system, in place where everyone has access to it. I think that's just part of what we talked about earlier, cooperation and a functional society full of love, and respect for people. Education also, I would say the same. I think I'm just a stickler for equality. I like a fair society. So I don't like the kind of educational systems that's biased, and we're not talking about particular geopolitical zones and all of that, but we all do know systems where this is the norm, where people only have access to certain kinds of education based on the kind of income their parents have or the kind of race their parents have and all of that. So for me, a working creative society will be one where the educational system is fully funded for every citizen with no prejudice involved, and everyone has equal access to it. The funding, of course, is another thing. We'll talk about that if necessary, but I really believe in the principle of fairness. I think that already takes care of all of the negativity that we see around the world. When people are treated fairly, when people have equal access to everything, yes.
Thank you very much. I totally agree that education and healthcare should be affordable and worldwide affordable, not for some countries, and that's it.
Yes.
Yes. And like our next question will be is about social assistance and work conditions. So if we have a perfect education system and perfect healthcare system, then what should be the conditions for people to work in and to grow potentially?
I think it's basically also, I like the transformational leadership or transformational organizational systems. I've been studied that for a few years now. I actually did a project on that. I believe the world is very slowly, we do know some organizations that are leaning towards transformational, system. I believe if an organization, if a society is transformational, that means that people are not considered to be numbers. People are not considered basically for what they can produce. Of course, we're not saying that's not important. I'm saying as the means to an end. If the well-being, the social well-being, because you talk about social justice now, if the social well-being, because we can see that in countries where the social well-being of their citizens is top key, the productivity is also high. The morale is high. In the few organizations that adopt the transformational leadership system or transformational organizational system, you notice that the productivity of the employees is very high. So I think it's just a very wise move for a creative society to have a transformational system where I have nothing against capitalism. I believe in capitalism that works, but capitalism based on a foundation of transformational system, which means that the people are key. What the people are going through, the social welfare of the people is very important, to the stakeholders. Their point of view is very important. Their voice, they do have a voice, is very important. I believe all of this will be transformational for the social well-being of people. And for those who are not able to produce as much as certain kind of people, there's a motivational push, there's a force that automatically lets people know that, hey, I'm important to the system. Because I think what causes demoralization is when people feel used and oppressed, and abused by a system. So for me, an ideal social system will be one that's based on transformational, system, that you're very focused on the well-being of the people. You're very focused on the performance, is because what we have right now is performance based. It's transactional. You do this, we do that. We do this, you do that, and then they pitch people against each other. There's a lot of competition and all of that. It's very unhealthy environment. But a transformational system would be a very ideal social welfare system, in my opinion. This is my take on this.
Thank you so much. Very, 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 very important understandings. And again, to continue our conversation about a creative society, we would like to share with our viewers pictures about the pillars of the creative society. And we say that the creative society stands on 8 pillars. And those are 8 foundations of the creative society. A human is a fundamental unit of society, and humanity is one big family. And those 8 foundations are human life, human freedom, human safety, transparency and openness of information for all, the creative ideology, development of personality, justice and equality, and self-governing society. And I would like to ask a question. What is a human freedom to you? How do you understand it?
I understand human freedom to mean free to express myself at the very core of who I am, without fear of prejudice, or any kind of discrimination or prejudgment. My ability to be who I am, openly, without fear of being judged or punishment. Of course, with the understanding that, like we say, in law, that my freedom actually ends where the freedom of the other person begins. So that means I respect the other people as well, but then I'm free to be myself at the very core. The hidden part of me, I'm able to express myself without fear of being judged. For me, this is freedom. This is true freedom.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
before we pass to another question, I also wanted to ask you one more question. So you mentioned also about your life and the situations, and you became also the victim of a violence. And
Yeah.
we live in the 21st century, and still we live in the society that there is a lot of violence. We see domestic violence, family violence. We see violence in different kind of groups of people at the level of countries and world level as well. And this is a very painful topic for our society.
True.
So basically, there is a huge project on the ALLATRA International Public Movement, which is called No to Violence in the Family and the Society. And we would like to ask you a question. What do you think? What are the first steps to be taken for our society, for each of us, to decrease the level of violence in our life, in our society?
I think the work has to start with people, like you said, freedom to express themselves. There's a lot of pretense. There's a lot of hiding, behind fences. People have learned to put up walls and just show the world another thing. So people go into relationships without knowing the full deal, that they're going into. And of course, for all you know, you could be married to a serial killer. You could be married to someone who has a broken past, has problems from the past and all of that. I believe that we should remove the stigmatization from mental health, so that people are able to express their self at the very core of who they are. If they're broken, a man, for example, who was a victim of abuse as a child, sexual abuse, for example, should be free to express that, to a trusted person without fear of being judged or being disbelieved, for example, because these are usually the things, that makes people become violent in future when they've had abuses in their childhood. Of course, maybe they have mental health issues and all of that. So society has to change its approach towards mental health, that I really believe that's at the very basic of it. And then the family system, has to operate in what I call this mode of transparency, believing that everyone is sovereign. Everyone has a right of being. We are human beings. BEING. That means we are becoming every day, and so we shouldn't try to put people in a box. That brings a lot of pressure on people, from societal pressure, to family pressure and all of that. All of these things contribute to abuse and all of that. So there must be basic respect for people, even in families, because families tend to be familiar with people and they don't take you seriously when you complain or you try to talk about, for example, if someone is abusing a young child and they're trying to voice it out and the family doesn't believe, we have to give people a chance, to express themselves, to say the truth, and we follow up on the things that we hear, from our loved ones. We need to keep our eyes open and our ears open to be a help to someone that might really, really need our help in the case of violence, domestic violence especially.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. And as we are talking today about the creative society, the happy society, one of the first steps to build it is informating others. Ruckey, how do you think, what is the best way to inform other people about such projects and such activities?
I believe the social media is very powerful these days. Word of mouth is powerful. Either word of mouth by social media, email, the internet is very powerful. It's incredible what's been achieved, in our times with the internet. So I believe word of mouth is very powerful. Publicity is very powerful. Social media, in my opinion, and people change, one person tells two persons tell three persons, and it just goes on and on and on like that. I believe a mighty big movement will come out of this.
Great. Thank you so much, Ruckey. And I also would like to ask you, what unites all people on Earth despite their nationalities, religions, and races? What unites all of us?
What unites all of us? The air we breathe. I think so. The oxygen, the blood running through our veins basically is all the same, no matter what your skin color is, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much education you have or don't have. At the end of the day, we're basically all human beings, we breathe the same oxygen. We have the same basically biological system. I believe on the psychological level, love is a very powerful force. Love is very uniting, is very empowering, is very motivational. If we all will have that in mind, that hey, we all breathe the same air, and we should love each other, I believe we'll have a more united world.
Thank you. Very
You're
beautiful.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Alicia.
And also, we saw on your Facebook an article which is called "Be Grateful No Matter What." And it's a very beautiful name of the article. And can you please tell us, what is gratitude to you?
Gratitude to me is to have life, is to be able to breathe. Just the very basic things. I think the problem with us starts, and I've been there, starts when we begin to look at the things we don't have. So gratitude is being mindful of what you do have and being thankful for it. At the very basic level, if you have good health, if you're able to breathe, if you're able to see by yourself, the little things that we take for granted. If you have hands, the other day we had to do eye surgery for my brother. It was thousands of dollars, and I'm thinking, oh wow, someone needed an arm, and one arm would cost, and that's even the prosthetic, it would cost 90,000 pounds. And I'm like, wow, I am grateful. So I believe the very basic things, being mindful of the basic necessities, is what being grateful is. It's an intentional thing to do on a daily basis. Rather than focus on what we don't have, we should be thankful for what we do have.
Ruckey, thank you so much. Thank you for all your understandings, for all the answers we gave today to us, to our audience, to our viewers. It was really amazing, and I enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Alina. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. And I love what you ladies are doing. I love what the whole movement is doing. Well done. Kudos to you.
This is great.
Well done. Well done.
And just before we finish, we would like to ask you, what would you wish to our viewers? What would you wish to our audience, please?
I wish that you discover your true self. And I wish that you stay true to your true self. And I wish that all your dreams come true in life. This is my wish, that you have love, joy, and a lot of positive friends and influences around you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great wish.
You're welcome, Alina.
just before we finish, we also would like to explain to our viewers and to people who joined us for the first time how everyone can join the project Creative Society. It's very easy. Actually, you simply go to the web page allatraunites.com, and there you see a red button, Join. So you press it, you choose the language you speak, and also you answer a question how you would like to participate. You leave your contacts for the volunteers of the movement, and they will contact you to discuss how you would like to participate. So nowadays, the project is huge, it's global. We run daily live broadcasts, live conversations worldwide. Also, there is Allatra Radio. There people can discuss the same topic, the topic of the Creative Society. And also there is another way to participate is to send us a letter, an email with your understandings in a way of essay, how you envision creative and constructive society. So there are a lot of opportunities to share your vision of a creative society with us, and we really invite everyone to join us on it.
Cool.
Thank you. And if you or your friends would like to take participants in such live conversation, please send us an email to uae@allatraunites.com. And if you would like to join the projects at Allatra Radio, you also can send your idea or suggest you're willing to an email info@allatraunites.com. And if you would like to share our videos in social networks, please use two hashtags, hashtag Creative Society and hashtag Allatra Unites. And also you may leave your comments and join the 6 Handshakes initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alice. And just before we finish, the last question to ask you, Ruckey, and also to ask our viewers, would you love to live in a creative society?
Of course, yes. I absolutely would love that. That's
and
a
you,
dream.
dear viewers, please, in the comments, you can put your answers, and we would like to see what you think about the creative society. Thank you, everyone. It was a very interesting conversation. Thank you, Ruckey, for being with us tonight. It's a beautiful evening we've spent together.
Yes,
Thank you, Alice,
I loved
for your help.
I really loved it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ladies. I really enjoyed this conversation, and thank you, our dear viewers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.